Hey, hey. Happy Thursday. So I got a custom request for something. She said I can make anything I want under $100. So I was thinking about a design and I'm like, she's definitely gonna get something that's worth more than 100, but I'm gonna make it live for her right now. I've got some sparkle tubing, heating it up in my annealer, or it's a kiln, same thing. So this is now 1100 degrees and ready to work. There we go. So I'm just going to close up the opening at the end first. Well, first I'm going to get the whole thing hot. Now I'm going to close up the end. Rolling it shut. I want to keep adding heat to the whole piece so I don't crack it later when I go to work on the other side. I'm just going to attach a handle so I can shape up. I'm going to make a Sherlock. I don't know if I said that. I'm making the Sherlock. So first things first, I'm going to taper down this end for the mouthpiece. I have the mouthpiece tapered down, I'm pretty much going to section this off into my Sherlock sections. So I'm going to taper it down here, divide the mouthpiece off, taper it down here, divide the bolt piece off, and then I'll have that center section divided where I know I can save the whole piece. So this tubing is made by Colorado Color Company, shout out. I buy a lot of my tubes from them. I also buy them from Golden Gate Glassworks. I still have to try a couple other companies I've been looking at. Sorry about that. So doing those taper lines, I'm going to flash everything first, so everything I need to warm back up. It was out of the fire too long. And then I'm going to taper down where the mouthpiece is going to be. There's the mouthpiece. I want to be careful how much heat I put into this because of the sparkles. I don't want to burn the sparkles away. So don't get it too flaming hot. It's flaming hot. So there's the bowl section on the left. Mouthpiece over there. I'm just going to round out the mouthpiece because essentially flatten it. Yeah, I'm gonna puff it out, flatten it, and give it a wave. I think that'll be awesome. Puff it out, flat. And now the mouthpiece is flat. I'm gonna spin it in the fire and make it wave. A wavy mouthpiece. Alright, I kind of gotta wait for that to cool, so here's what's up. We got our wavy mouthpiece, got the center sectioned off, and then that top part I'm going to round out for the bowl part right now. Colors are going to be sick. Alright, so I'll cut off this handle, round out the bowl. Take off anything I don't want on the end, on the final pipe. Ooh, that's fucking hot. And then I just want to round out this section. It's kind of oblong. I want it nice and round. Changing angles depending where I want the glass to flow. Looks like it's thick right now. Alright. So I'm just going to puff this out once it cools down a little bit. I want to puff when it's like orange, not white. Looks white on there, but... Hey. That was very good, yeah. That was really good. Alright, so I'm going to attach a handle very gently back on that side so I can do the Sherlock sag, which is the coolest freaking part of this whole thing, I think. I love sagging glass. So just very light attachment. And then any kind of vibration now will break that handle off, so I gotta be careful. Just gonna get the middle hot and sag it into a Sherlock. Five, four, three, two, that turned out fantastic. It's hard to get those Sherlocks perfect because if you get too much heat, they just close up or get too skinny. If you don't have enough heat, you don't get that beautiful beautiful curvy shape. So yeah, I just like wiggled that barely and it came right off. Didn't leave a mark. So now I can just push the bow. I'm excited to show the customer her video too. You never know. You could give me a custom order and I might send you a video when it's ready of me making it. I just randomly will do that. I don't really tell anybody before I make them. They just get a nice surprise at the end. Alright, so I popped the hole. Now I'm just going to circle around it with the flame and then push a bow. Love from India. Oh, love from Minnesota. So I'm just going to circle around it. And I want to change hands while I'm doing this because the glass is going to start flowing out every which way. Glass becomes a liquid when it's really hot. And then here's my bowl push. Right before I go to push it, I'm just going to give it a puff. So I keep the size of that whole hole. Oh. And then I just want to blast out any lines I got from using a cold tool. The hole's a little bit too big, so I'm just going to make that smaller by blasting the flame in there. Still too big. I want it a little bit smaller. Just rounding it out. You can drag it back on center if you need to, if it gets off center. And then I have a really bright light up here that I like to just hold the piece into. I'll show you any little imperfections, which I have some wrinkles I see on the top, which I don't really see without looking up at the light. So that's kind of a little trick I use. If you don't have a really bright light above you, you can just go like this. And it does kind of the same thing. Just put the flame out on the propane. But I like my light. Alright, choke. I'm going to put the choke in. So I'm just going to get one spot hot on the side where I want the choke to be, or the carburetor, or the carb, whatever you call it, the air hole. I make my chokes nice and big so you can clear out the pipe pretty easy. I like very much, thank you. What have you studied to make things? I'm a nurse. I just took some classes and then I basically learned from friends. I definitely didn't have to go through a nursing program like you did. You put in a lot of hours at school. I put a lot of hours in just in the studios instead of school. So just pop the choke out, round it out. You always want your choke bigger than your bowl hole so it functions properly. I'm just flattening it, flattening it, round it. We've got a choke. And then I prepped up a little smiley face that's heating up in my kiln or annealer. I'm going to put on the side. She said this is a gift to herself for Mother's Day, so that's why I picked a little smiley face. Be happy. So I don't know if you can see. Oh, you kind of can. So this is the back, because that's what I want to stick on the pipe. And then the front is facing the handle. I'm just going to get both things hot. I don't want to get them so hot that it warps the shape though, so I got to be careful. it on, pull it up a little bit, tap it right off. So that's another punchy feel where the vibration knocks it free. Comes in handy a lot. Now we're just going to go around the outside, zap any of the lines that aren't totally melted in. Make sure it's on there. And then I like to heat up that whole lens. You heat up that whole clear part and go either like this or whatever, which way gravity you want to shift it, and it'll make it nice and round if it was not. Alright, so we got our smiley on there. Once it cools down, you'll see it. Are you making a pipe to smoke? Yeah. So this is a smoking pipe. There's the smile. So I'm going to pop this in the annealer, and then I'm going to prep a kickstand for the side so that when you set it down, it doesn't just sit sideways. It'll have something that'll prop up that bowl part. Which looks fucking awesome. Alright, we got the smiley. Time for, so I have a little, ooh, that's hot. So I put my millies on my graphite pad in front of my torch, so they heat up as I work. And then when you want to use it, it's already preheated. You don't have to like hit it with the torch or anything. It's just heated up because this thing is not really hot. It's hot. It's not 1100 degrees, but it's probably 300 degrees. So my millies are preheated was my point. I gotta pick a color for the background. And the millie is a honeycomb fumed piece, so I want to use something that's darker, but not necessarily black. Should I just use black? I'm gonna use this guy because it's skinny. So I'm just gonna get a little blob on this hot and then pick up that little piece. Never mind, this is transparent. I'm gonna actually use black. This is black. So same thing, I'm just going to get a blob, hot, that's big enough to pick up this honeycomb millie. And millies are made kind of like pulled sugar can do when they have the design in there. They make one really big ass design and then they pull it out, they melt it down and pull it out into a bunch of little ones that they can cut up and you can use on the side of your pieces. So I'm just shrinking that black down into a blob. It's almost big enough to pick this up. It's a big millie. Alright, going for it. So I like to pick them up, smoosh it on, flip it, smoosh it on. I do like a 180 flip and do another smoosh. And then I get it hot in the flame and try to get it so it's centered as much as possible. So it doesn't look pretty right now, but it's just attached to the black. And then I'll have to put clear over the top. What is the time to heat up the glass to shape it? That's a good question. Windows? That is a really good question. I know that soft glass is a lot less. So if it's sitting in there at 1100 degrees and it doesn't even have color or heat in it, I'm guessing it takes around 1800 to melt it. I should look that up. I should know that, and I'm going to look that up for you next time I will have an answer. I should definitely know the melting temperature of the material that I am working with. I'm sorry, I don't. So I'm just doing the same thing that I did with the black. I'm getting the clear hot now. And I just want to blob it onto the top. And I want that millie hot, but not so hot that I'm going to warp the picture when I put that clear blob on. And then I already know I need a punchy at the end, so I just shape this up, ready to punchy it after I melt all this clear over the top. I'm slightly embarrassed I don't know the melting temperature of borosilicate glass. I do not have a specific temp for that answer. So just circling around, I want the clear to hit the black on the bottom, and then I want them all to be friends. They're all going to be one marble. And then I just want to keep it on center. And then you'll see after a little bit, you'll be able to see that honeycomb. That's nice. So I'm going to punchy that up, add more color to the back, because this is going to be the front of the kickstand. Oh, that turned out fantastic. So punchy it, just that light attachment. Pull off any black that I don't want on the end. And I think I'm going to use either butterscotch or caramel to make this a longer kickstand. So now I have it all shaped up. It's transferred. This is the back. The front is attached to the punty. Take care of your hands. Oh, I try. They hurt, but I try. Look how they're already kind of funny looking. It's not funny. So I don't have caramel right here. I got a bunch of tubes right here with color in them. So I'm just gonna, these are all cut, and then when you melt that end, it gets like bubblies. So I'm just gonna melt the end and peel it off so I don't have those bubblies on my piece. And as you heat this up, you can already see that it changes colors. There's a lot of silver in there, so you get a lot of different coloring. I'm just gonna basically blob it onto the end. So I'm just going to like push and push and push and push until I feel like I have enough on there for a kickstand. This is definitely over $100 pipe, but she wanted it under $100, so she will give her price and she will give a nice pipe for a nice price. I'm also spiraling this color as it's going on, so it gives it a fun look because all that silver in the color. So it'll have a nice spirally look to it. And every once in a while I just want to flash that marble again so it doesn't get too cold. Alright, I think that's plenty. Gonna twist it off at the end. And I need to melt them together. They're not totally one yet, so melt those guys together. And then I think I'm going to give it a little stretch. Or maybe I could get it to do that. Oh yeah, that's working. another one. My high ass sausage. Good. There we go. Get it back on center. Now I just want to flatten that end a little bit, and then I can attach it to the Sherlock. So the Sherlock has been sitting in my annealer. It is at 1100 degrees. Got a little bit of honeycomb at the end of this, and I'm going to stick it on for a kickstand. So just wipe the kiln dust off on that glove. I got a smiley face on the front right there. There's a little bit of haziness in the bend, so I'm just going to blast out that haziness so I don't forget to do that later. And then I'll go to stick this on. I just want to stick it on the side right there. So I'm getting both things really hot, but not so hot that they're moving. I want them molten, but not moving. Push it on, pull it up. I'm going to make sure it's in a good spot. I want it to lean a little bit into the kickstand side, so then it for sure doesn't fall the other way when you set it down. That turned out freaking perfect. Not that way. And then there's a little bit of haziness, so I'm just gonna blast that out. And then the haziness in the bend, I want to make sure I got rid of that too. There we go. That moved up. Okay, that's good. There's a little wrinkle I didn't like right there. All right, well, that's all I'm gonna do on the live. I'd say that went fucking awesome. I hope she loves it. She gave me freedom to do whatever, so this is my whatever. So like I said before, the tubing is purchased from Colorado Color Company, as well as these Millie Preps. They made the honeycomb and the smiley. And then it sits nice. I don't know if you can see that. It's going to sit really nice. It's not going to fall over. Fuck yeah. So, back in the annealer. I'm going to let that heat up again. I'm probably going to add some little texture lines. I'll probably add a couple dots of the butterscotch or a different color. I don't know. I'll add a couple color dots to the top of the mouthpiece, like 3 of them on that wave. And then I think that'll be it for that one. Alright, I gotta get going. But thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. I appreciate all the love. No, I mean, take care of your hands working with fire. Oh yes, I burn myself constantly. What are you making? I made a custom Sherlock. You make it look easy. Thank you. I try really hard to perfect my craft. Alright, I think I got all the questions. I appreciate you watching. Peace and love. Subscribe, like, turn on the notifications.